God, no, not another collection, not another collection. So, went to the store the other day, and I found Turtles of Grayskull Hordak. And I want you guys to know something about my history with Masters of the Universe. I grew up with 2000X. Skeletor is one of my favorite villains of all time. Hordak is my favorite He-Man adjacent character. I also prefer She-Ra to He-Man, sue me. And in terms of my collecting history, I had no He-Man figures as a kid except for a mini 2000X Skeletor. After that, I got into Master of the Universe Classics, sold them off. A few years later, got into Master of the Universe Origins, had a complete set for about the first year, then I sold them off. Right now, the only other He-Man figure I own is I still have my Classics Skeletor and Evil Lyn. So why did I buy Hordak? It's because I saw Hordak in a store, and something about this guy is just mesmerizing to me. For one, I like the title here, Ruthless Master of the Ooze Pit. And I also want to point this out, as much as I like Hordak, I don't like the Filmation design. I've always preferred the toy design. And yet there's something about the added black here that makes it work. I love the monster gun arm, and then the head. Look at this beautiful sneer he has. He's so disgusted with you and what you're doing. He's like, what are you doing with that hand? What are you doing with that hand? I like it. I like it so much. And that's what made me convinced that I need to buy this Hordak, was just how utterly ashamed he is of me. Taking a look at Hordak, my first thought is, this is sick. This might be my new favorite design for Hordak. I have always liked Hordak. Like I said, he's my favorite villain in He-Man, mostly because I don't really consider Skeletor a villain. To me, Skeletor is just kind of, that funny joke that we all enjoy. And besides, in the Filmation show, he turns good, right? He saves that dog and learns the true meaning of Christmas. I'm not making that up. That's actually how Skeletor's story ends in the Filmation cartoon. Whereas Hordak, it's just, he's a scumbag. And I like this. I like the look. I like the wings. I like the colors. I like the gun hand. It's actually making me kind of enjoy the cartoon design, which is something I never have enjoyed for Hordak. Just taking in the general design, he is using the standard build, at least from what I can tell, for the Master of the Universe Origins figures. He does have a hood that if you want, you can pop it off and then you can just have his head there. I actually kind of dig that, actually. I've not tried it. It reminds me more of the Netflix Hordak without the hood. Oh, I might be keeping the hood off. Well, no, because the hood is cool. The hood is cool. What I really want is just like a toy of Netflix Hordak. I can't decide which one's cooler. I like them both. Oh, God, am I going to get a second one of these? No, I'm not getting a second one. We'll go ahead and do articulation. You got a ball joint at the head, universal here at the shoulder, and you have a swivel as well as a joint here in the elbow. On the side that has a hand, you have a hinge and a swivel. You have a waist swivel. You have a pretty kind of limited universal at the hip, but you do have a good universal at the knee, a cut here in the boot, and a universal at the foot. It works. You also have a hinge at the base of the wing and a hinge halfway through the wing, so you're able to expand or retract. What's really cool is that when they're fully out, they're in the same shape as the Horde logo, which is a great call. That is a really good decision to make for Hordak. Hordak's one accessory is a blast effect for his gun arm, and at first I thought that this was just an energy blast until I realized that's the ooze. So this is what he's using to make all the other He-Man characters get mutated. That's a really good choice. That's a good pull for Hordak. He is totally the one who would be forcibly mutating everyone against their will. And I really enjoy how this gun looks in general. I love the silver, the little hits of green help break it up. And of course, if you want the blast effect out, now it's just a really cool gun. And seeing as how the Filmation Hordak was able to turn his arm into a gun, I think that works too. It's he just went a little bit further than usual. And I would be hard-pressed to not mention he does have his armband. Hard to have the evil Horde without their full regalia. My one issue with the figure is, as much as I love the costume, things like the hood and the shoulder pads do make him somewhat hindered in his upper body articulation. but if you work with it, you're able to kind of make it work for you. It's just a little bit more difficult than it was on a lot of the Origins figures I've had before. Then again, most of the Origins figures I had before didn't look anywhere near as sick as this guy does. It's the type of toy where it kind of makes me want to get more He-Man guys in general again. I've been missing having He-Man in my life. I have my Skeletor and my Evil Lyn, but it'd be nice to maybe just have a couple of the Origins figures alongside Hordak and just have a tiny shelf. Again, I kind of like Godzilla. I don't want to overtake things. I just want to get a couple of my favorite designs and put them somewhere, make them look nice. And I don't need any other Hordaks. I'm going to get this Hordak, maybe get some guys I really liked like Skeletor and Evil Lyn, Ninjor, Man-at-Arms, Scareglow, if he's not insanely expensive, Trapjaw. I'm probably like naming all the Origins figures that are going to be like impossible to find now, but you know, that's where we are as a person. I am really happy to have this guy though. Just for the sake of it, here he is alongside my Filmation Classic Skeletor and my Classics Battleground Evil Lyn. This is a 2000X Evil Lyn, and then of course the classic cartoon Skeletor. Yeah, of course these three don't scale together, but I'm okay having Skeletor and Evil Lyn kind of as their own style off to the side, and then maybe I can just have like a main collection. I wouldn't mind getting another Evil Lyn and another Skeletor. They are the best couple in all of He-Man after all. Overall, if you are a He-Man or a She-Ra fan, I think this Hordak is totally worth it. I love everything about him. I think he's an incredible toy, and I think the thing that I enjoy most is now that I'm looking at those holes in his wings, it reminds me a lot more of the Netflix Hordak, who is the real Hordak I want a toy of, and this is getting as close as I'm ever going to get. If you are a Ninja Turtles fan, I don't really know if there's enough here to connect it to Ninja Turtles. In all honesty, like, I know that they changed the Horde logo, but other than that, this really just seems like a cool variant of Hordak. And that's the thing I can really sing praise about the entire Ninja Turtles Masters crossover line, is the ones I looked at the store, each of them kind of just work as either Ninja Turtle or He-Man, and you can put them together and it's a great looking toy line. But I think it's also really smartly designed where if you only care about He-Man, you're getting some sick He-Man designs that are going to mesh with the rest of your He-Man guys. If you like Ninja Turtles, you're going to get some sick Ninja Turtle designs that are going to mesh with the rest of your Ninja Turtles. In terms of Hordak with a Ninja Turtle that's not part of the crossover line, I don't really see how this would work, aside from it just being a super cool Hordak. But aside from that, it's an amazing version of a really cool character, and he looks like he is disappointed in you. He looks like an angry dad who's just walked in on you while watching your anime. And can't we all use someone like that in our lives? Someone to shame us? Someone to tell us that it's time for us to get off Discord for the night? I don't know. I'm rambling now. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Seriously though, this is my favorite head sculpt in years.